have you ever faced a challenge, maybe something so overwhelming, so uh, seemingly unfair, that it just pushed you right to your absolute limit?
Hmm.
And maybe in that moment, that point of surrender, did you find something else? A kind of pathway to a really profound personal shift, something that sort of redefined who you thought you were.
It's a powerful question, isn't it? It
Yeah.
really gets to the heart of, well, transformation. Can real growth actually come from something that feels like, I don't know, dismantling, even destruction at first?
Absolutely. And that exact journey, that's what we're diving into today. We're looking at the really extraordinary life story of Milarepa. He's one of Tibet's most revered saints.
Right.
And specifically, we're digging into the incredibly challenging but ultimately, well, transformative relationship he had with his guru Marpa.
Yeah, and for this, our exploration is drawing on a couple of key sources. First, there's the Treasury of Lives.
Hmm.
That gives us the, academic biographical details, kind of grounds the story in history,
Okay.
which is helpful.
And then we're also pulling these incredibly rich sort of narrative insights from a YouTube teaching by Samran Push. And this source, it really brings the spiritual lessons of Milarepa's journey to life, gives a profound understanding of the human element, behind the legend.
Exactly. So the core question that's kind of guiding us here is this. How can extreme hardship, I mean, actions that might look harsh, maybe even cruel from the outside,
Right.
and this persistent inner struggle, how can that actually lead to the peak of spiritual realization, enlightenment?
And maybe even more relevant for you listening,
Hmm.
what can you learn from Milarepa's path about overcoming your own deeply ingrained perceptions, maybe your own seemingly insurmountable challenges?
Yeah, that's the real takeaway, isn't it?
So let's set the scene a bit.
Yeah.
Who exactly was Milarepa before he met this, well, extraordinary teacher, Marpa?
Well, historically speaking, he was born in 1040, passed away in 1123. So a really significant figure in 11th and 12th century Tibet.
Okay.
He belonged to the Kumpo clan, sometimes known as Milazipi Dorsheitu,
Right, I saw that name variant.
and he'd become, of course, central to the Marpa Kagyu lineage, named after his teacher, Marpa Choki Lodro.
And Milarepa himself had famous students later on, didn't he? Like Gampopa and Rachungpa.
That's right, Yampopa Sonam Rinchen, Rinchungpa Dorje Drakpa, and his life was connected to places like Sekar Gutak, Kailash, Sari, Drakar Tasso, important centers.
But the crucial thing you were saying is understanding where he started from. He wasn't just some naive kid wandering onto the spiritual path.
No, not at all. Before he became this renowned yogi, Milarepa was actually incredibly capable in, well, secular stuff. The sources say he was very good at doing magic, playing the field, and building houses.
Which back then weren't just like hobbies, right? These were serious skills.
Exactly. Significant, impressive worldly skills for that time. He was, by all accounts, strong, competent, very much a man of the world.
And it's this background, isn't it, that shaped his very firm ideas about what a spiritual guru should be like.
Precisely. Like many of us, maybe. Milarepa had a clear projection. He expected his guru to be, sitting on a grand throne, speaking gently, dressed in fancy robes, showing compassion in a way that fit his ideal. He imagined this serene, comforting figure.
Which, as we're about to see, was pretty much the exact opposite of what he actually found with Marpa.
Totally. A stark contrast.
So Milarepa arrives. He's ready for deep spiritual teaching, probably full of these ideas. What happens? The sources describe Marpa's reaction as, well, jarring doesn't quite cover it.
No kidding. He didn't get a warm welcome.
Yeah.
No gentle words, no cushion. Instead, Marpa apparently just grabbed Milarepa by the ear,
Wow.
threw him out of the teaching hall,
I-
and basically yelled at him to go to the fields and work.
Just like that. No explanation.
Just like that. Talk about dismantling expectations from moment one.
And this wasn't just a one-time shock tactic, was it? This set the tone for years.
Exactly. For years, Milarepa's life under Marpa was basically hard labor. They called it being a yopa worker, which meant like a common laborer, almost a slave in that context.
What kind of things did he have to do?
Oh, incredibly arduous tasks. Memorizing texts, sure, but also cooking, carrying Marpa's baby on his back.
Carrying the baby while doing other work.
Yeah, collecting firewood, collecting dung, fetching water from miles away, plowing fields. Just relentless physical labor.
Imagine doing that for years. And the psychological side, while he's doing this, others are getting teachings.
That's the kicker. While he's doing this grueling work, sometimes, the sources mention his back being raw, flesh exposed from carrying stones. Other disciples, often wealthy ones, arriving with their fancy jewels, they'd get direct Dharma teachings, initiations. Milarepa, never allowed to attend. kept completely separate for the very thing he came for.
That must have caused incredible inner conflict.
Oh, immense turmoil. The sources talk about his deep suffering, constantly battling these ugly negative thoughts about Marpa, doubts constantly. He apparently recounted hundreds of times wanting to just give up, just leave. He felt totally dehumanized, like that yopo worker, like a slave. He just couldn't square this demanding, seemingly cruel man with his idea of a guru.
It sounds almost unbearably harsh. Was there any kindness shown to him at all during this time? Any relief?
Well, yes, but it was often, let's say, hidden or indirect.
Mm.
Marpa's wife, for instance, apparently felt really sorry for him. She saw his struggle, and to try and, preserve what little faith he had left, she actually gave him her own jewelry.
Wow.
And in what seems like a real act of compassion, she forged a letter from Marpa, sent Milarepa away to one of Marpa's other famous disciples, thinking she was helping him find, a kinder teacher, the teachings he craved.
So she helped him escape, essentially.
Pretty much, out of pity, trying to ease his suffering.
Now, hearing all this, the labor, the exclusion, the mental anguish, you have to wonder, right? Was Marpa just a cruel taskmaster, or was there something else going on?
That's the crucial question.
Yeah.
And what the sources reveal next is, well, it's a profound insight into Marpa's real intention, a purpose hidden beneath all that seeming harshness.
Okay.
His underlying aim, revealed right after these stories of slavery, was to utterly destroy Milarepa's ego, his self-grasping mind. Marpa knew that all Milarepa's worldly skills, his magic, his building, none of that could help him actually transcend suffering.
Not like the guru's teachings could.
Exactly. He had to break down that resistance, that sense of self, first.
Yeah.
Demolish the old structure before building the new.
And this hidden purpose, it leads to this really interesting detour in Milarepa's story, doesn't it? The part with the second guru, it's like a test of delusion.
It really is.
Yeah.
So after fleeing Marpa with that forged letter from the wife,
Right.
Milarepa finds this new guru, and initially he loves this guy.
Why? What was so great about him?
Because this guru was everything Milarepa thought a guru should be. He fit the projection perfectly.
Yeah, the checklist.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
On a throne, check. Wearing robes, check. Speaking gently, check. Teaching in a proper prayer hall, check. This was the ideal guru Milarepa had pictured all along.
So he finally got what he wanted. Did it work?
Well, that's the fascinating part. Milarepa received teachings from this new master, and he was diligent. He went off to meditate in a cave nearby for seasons. The sources stress he wasn't slacking off. He genuinely meditated intensely.
Okay, so he put in the effort.
Absolutely. Morning and night.
Oh.
When he came down from his retreat to report his progress, he hadn't gained any of the required preliminary signs of realization. Nothing. Not even a flicker.
Wait, really? After all that diligent meditation, why?
It's baffling at first glance, right? His effort was sincere, but it yielded zero results. Why?
So what happened? Did the new guru figure it out?
Yeah, the new guru was apparently shocked. He couldn't understand why Milarepa, meditating so hard, wasn't getting anywhere. And eventually he discovered the letter Milarepa brought was a forgery, written by Marpa's wife.
Ah, the permission wasn't there.
Exactly. And that's critical. In tantric practice, giving these deep, powerful teachings or initiations without the proper lineage permission to someone not truly prepared by their guru, it's a serious breach of vows. It's considered harmful, actually.
So it breaks the sacred connection, kind of?
In a way, yes. It disqualifies the teacher, potentially harms the student. You can't just shortcut the process.
So this ideal guru realized he'd made a mistake, basically helped Milarepa run away from his real path.
Yes, and his reaction showed real understanding of guru devotion. Immediately, he packed up everything, including all the offerings Milarepa had given him.
Took the offerings back.
Everything. Went straight to Marpa, prostrated fully, and confessed what he called his great offense.
Wow. And Milarepa?
Milarepa got brought back to Marpa, and, well, you guessed it, back to the slavery. This whole detour just highlights that by seeking an easier, more comfortable guru, Milarepa was really just escaping from himself again, trying to avoid the specific medicine Marpa knew he needed. His diligence was sincere, but without Marpa's unique, targeted approach, it was ineffective for him.
Okay, so Milarepa's back under Marpa's thumb, still basically a laborer, still needing this profound purification, which brings us to the house building ordeal. This seems like the absolute core of Marpa's training for him.
It really does. Marpa commanded him to build these houses completely alone, get stones from this specific quarry, wood from that specific forest, no help allowed.
And the first house, The description is brutal.
It is. Milarepa apparently carried stones until his back was literally raw and flesh was coming out. He built the whole thing. Then Marpa comes to inspect, finds one beam wrongly placed,
Just
one, and orders the entire house to be dismantled. Every single stone, every piece of wood taken back to its original place, then rebuilt perfectly.
That is just psychologically crushing. And he didn't stop there.
Not even close. This exact process, build it, find a tiny flaw, tear it all down, return materials, rebuild happened at least twice more.
Seriously.
Yeah. Milarepa apparently became incredibly paranoid, double-checking, triple-checking everything. But Marpa, with his eagle eyes, always found something. A window measurement off by an inch. The floor slanting the wrong way. Some tiny detail that meant.
Tear it all down again.
Exactly. Demolish and rebuild again.
It must have been a breaking point. He couldn't just keep doing that indefinitely.
Absolutely. After the third house was ordered down, Milarepa just broke. Completely. He cried, sobbed uncontrollably, just utterly defeated.
But then something shifted, right? It wasn't just despair.
This is the crucial moment, a profound turning point. After he cried himself out, the source says he just accepted. That's the phrase used. And right then, his preconceptions and his ego started to wear off.
So it wasn't just giving up, it was a deeper surrender.
Yes, a real internal shift. The resistance was finally utterly exhausted. His ego's grip just loosened.
And it wasn't just 3 houses in the end, was it? The number is staggering.
No, the tradition says Milarepa ultimately built and rebuilt 13 houses.
13.
13, until every single detail, windows, floor, leveling, timber, everything was absolutely perfect according to Marpa's standard. This incredibly arduous, seemingly senseless, repetitive task, that was Marpa's specific teaching for Milarepa, designed purely to break his ego.
Wow.
Just chipped away at his fixed ideas, his sense of I know best, his resistance, until they just dissolved.
It's still hard to reconcile this apparent abuse with the idea of a compassionate guru. How do we understand Marpa's kindness in all this? Was it really there?
It's a vital question, and the answer reveals the hidden side of Marpa's method.
Yeah.
And there's this poignant detail. Every time Marpa seemed to abuse Milarepa, scolded him harshly, or whenever Milarepa ran away,
Yeah.
Marpa would secretly go to his own altar, make offerings, and pray intensely, really intensely, for Milarepa's realization, praying that he wouldn't give up.
So Marpa was suffering too, in a way.
It seems so. His wife even recounted seeing him do this. It shows this immense but completely unexpressed compassion. He saw Milarepa's incredible potential and was willing to play the villain, basically, to endure being misunderstood, to bring that potential out.
That changes the picture quite a bit. Hidden compassion.
Completely. He wasn't just a taskmaster. He was performing a kind of spiritual surgery, knowing it was painful but necessary.
So after the 13th house is finally perfect, after all that suffering, all that hidden prayer, what then? Was there finally the breakthrough?
Oh, absolutely. The moment that 13th house was done, perfect. Marpa's entire demeanor shifted instantly.
How so?
He immediately prepared a special seat for Milarepa, a special drink, special clothes. He purified him with saffron water, and he affectionately called him my son. Just like that, the years of harsh training were declared over.
Wow. And the teachings. Did Milarepa have to start from scratch, having missed all those years of lessons everyone else got?
No, remarkably. Marpa basically said, the house building. That was the teaching. That broke your ego. He gave Milarepa no preliminary stuff at all.
So straight to the advanced stuff.
Instantly. Marpa gave him the complete initiations, the oral transmissions, the commentaries, the meditations for enlightened figures like Haruka and Vajrayogini, and, crucially, he gave him the 6 yogas of Naropa.
Those are the really advanced practices, right? Inner heat, subtle body stuff.
Exactly. The very practices Milarepa would become famous for mastering, leading to stories of, well, extraordinary abilities.
How did Milarepa react to this sudden shift, from laborer to honored son receiving the highest teachings?
He was, as the source says, flabbergasted, totally stunned, but also incredibly rejoiceful. All those years of what felt like torture just melted away. He broke down again, but this time it wasn't tears of despair, it was tears of liberation. He finally fully understood Marpa's masterful, skillful, and deeply compassionate method for destroying his ego. He saw that the suffering was the path, perfectly designed for him.
Incredible. So what did this profound transformation lead to? What was Milarepa's life like after Enlightenment?
His later life was one of just profound spiritual dedication and attainment. He spent years in intense meditation, mostly in remote caves. Famously, he survived eating only nettles.
Right, which turned his skin that distinctive greenish-blue color, didn't it?
Exactly. He became so thin, so ascetic looking, that local villagers were apparently sometimes scared of him. They mistook him for a scary demon when they stumbled upon his cave.
Wow! Total renunciation. Did he ever leave the caves?
His only breaks from intense meditation, really, were to go back and report his progress to Marpa. That connection remained paramount.
But he's also known for his beautiful songs and poems, not just being a hermit.
Yes, absolutely. Despite this solitary, highly ascetic life, his fame grew. He had this incredible ability to convey the deepest dharma, the teachings, through spontaneous, beautiful songs and poems.
And they had a real impact on people.
Instantly. People didn't just hear his words, they felt his realization. The sources say listeners would often have their minds completely shifted just like that. They'd stop in their tracks, put down their walking sticks, the animals would wait. Just captivated by the power coming through his voice.
Amazing. And what about the stories of him flying? Were those just legends or...
Well, the sources recount quite seriously that he was seen to fly or levitate on many occasions. This was attributed to his mastery of those 6 yogas of Naropa, practices that can make the physical body very light and harness subtle energies.
So a sign of his supreme realization.
A demonstration of it, yes. And crucially, even after achieving full enlightenment, becoming this incredibly revered figure, his guru devotion never wavered. He prayed only to his guru, Marpa, always recognizing Marpa as the sole source of his liberation.
It's such an intense, almost unbelievable story. So what does it teach us? What's the universal lesson here, something that applies beyond 11th century Tibet?
Well, it brings us right back to the root cause of so much suffering, doesn't it? What Buddhism calls the self-grasping mind, the ego.
Right.
And for Milarepa, this wasn't some abstract idea. It was that raw, burning frustration he felt every single time Marpa shattered his expectations, his plans, his sense of how things should be.
And it's important to distinguish this ego from healthy self-confidence, right?
Absolutely crucial. Healthy self-confidence is maybe, compassionately sharing success you've genuinely earned. This self-grasping ego is different. It's that fierce, often unconscious desire to have things my way, asserting oneself even when it's harmful, getting deeply offended when reality doesn't match our projections or beliefs.
And this ego, this self-grasping, it shows up in so many everyday ways, doesn't it? Not just in dramatic spiritual quests.
Oh, definitely. It
Yeah.
manifests all over the place, often rooted in, childhood stuff or conditioning. Think about it.
Like what?
Well, laziness maybe, or irresponsibility, pushing work onto others because I don't want to do it, or extreme stubbornness, it must be my way, that deep fear of being wrong or having to change your mind.
I know that one.
Right. Or it can look like coldness, shutting down emotionally because of past hurts, or being neurotic and controlling, obsessing over tiny details because you need that illusion of control.
Using power, too, maybe.
For sure, using influence or power to manipulate things or people if your ego feels slighted or offended, and just, unchecked anger, impatience when things don't go according to plan. All these different behaviors often spring from that same root, the ego insisting on its own version of reality.
So Marpa's seemingly brutal methods were actually like precision spiritual surgery, targeting that ego directly.
That's a great way to put it. The guru's methods, even if they look harsh from the outside, are always designed to assault your ego, as the source says, to break those ingrained assumptions. And because ego is described as timeless, spaceless, and dimensionless.
Meaning it's always here, always operating.
Pretty much. So the approach has to be tailored. Milarepa needed house building. For you, for me, it might be something completely different today, but the underlying principle breaking that attachment to my way is the same.
This really challenges our modern idea of freedom, doesn't it? We often think freedom is just, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's a common idea. But is that really freedom? Or is it just the ego demanding its own satisfaction again? True freedom, the kind Milarepa embodied, looks very different.
How so?
It looks like compassion. It looks like wisdom. It looks like effortlessly helping others find their own liberation. It's being, as the source puts it, ever happy and excited to help you, willing to take on sufferings, to give up their wealth, to share and to give and to exist for others.
So a total shift from self-focus to other focus.
A profound shift
Yeah.
from a life centered on personal gain to a life of, boundless service and giving. That's the liberation Milarepa found.
Okay, so given that most of us listening probably aren't going to be tasked with building 13 stone houses,
Absolutely not.
how does this translate? How can we practice breaking ego in our modern lives?
Well, the principles still apply, just the forms change. Modern ego breaking might look like, say, engaging in fundraising for a cause you believe in. That often involves asking, maybe even feeling like you're begging, which directly challenges pride and ego.
Right. That can be uncomfortable.
Very. Or it could be engaging in difficult, unglamorous work for a greater good. Painting a community center, volunteering on tough retreats where your usual comforts are gone, helping the homeless without needing any recognition.
So stepping outside the comfort zone deliberately.
Exactly. And being willing to endure what the Source calls lovingly delivered slaps on the ego. Maybe being ignored when you expect attention, or having to donate significantly when it feels like a real sacrifice. It's about noticing our excuses.
Excuses about money, relationships, being too busy.
Yeah, and recognizing how often those excuses are really just covering up selfish motivations, that desire to keep things comfortable for me. It's about consciously choosing discomfort for a purpose beyond ourselves.
And if we actually do this, if we start applying these teachings, start working on that self-grasping mind, what's the promised effect? What's the payoff for this, frankly, difficult work?
The potential transformation is huge. You start to experience a lighter mind. Old pains, old emotional baggage, they just don't disturb you as much. You become more flexible, more open, more at ease. Regardless of the situation, your whole focus begins to shift away from just personal gain, the next meal, the next entertainment fix, more money, towards genuine compassion, towards actively working for others' benefit. You find yourself becoming more responsible, more caring, less prone to those wild mood swings, because your happiness isn't just tied to external circumstances anymore.
So your whole perspective shifts because you've changed the inner landscape.
Exactly. You've changed yourself at that deep egoic level.
So to kind of wrap up Milarepa's incredible journey, guided by Marpa, it really shows the profound power of facing and ultimately dissolving that self-grasping mind to achieve real freedom, real compassion.
Yeah, it's a testament to transformation, even through what looks like immense suffering from the outside, but was actually a path of incredible skill and ultimately hidden kindness.
It's definitely a challenging story, but like you said, filled with so much wisdom for anyone looking for deeper change.
Indeed. Lots to reflect on there.
Which really leaves us, and leaves you listening, with maybe one final thought to ponder. If Milarepa's intense, sometimes seemingly abusive training led to such profound freedom and insight, what inconvenient truths or maybe uncomfortable challenges in your own life right now might actually be the most skillful, maybe unrecognized pathways to your deepest transformation? Could you reframe your biggest obstacles maybe as opportunities? Opportunities to understand and transcend your own ego, just like Milarepa did. Something to think about.